So, welcome to the session. We are studying Master's book, The Existence of God is Self-Evident. I hope you have the book with you. So, we had completed chapter 3 in the last session. If you missed the session, you are welcome to go through the recordings. Just a small reminder about what we did in chapter 3. This soul affirmation, I think the importance is to be regular in in affirming that you are the soul, that I am the soul, that we are the souls and not the bodies, because it's very easy to get caught up in the bodies. Like, I think Master says that the soul, when it takes up the bodies, it can have spiritual amnesia समझते हैं ना, forgetting. The amnesia is the sickness, the illness of forgetting. So that is what happens. This soul comes in, takes the bodies, and unfortunately, it forgets that it is where it has come from, what it is, and it gets involved. That process is called involution. It gets involved in the bodies, and it's through this spiritual amnesia ends up believing, oh, I am the bodies. But that is not so. That is why this soul affirmation is very important. देखिए, we are all living. Now, when we are living, the most important thing is to keep in mind why we are living. What is the purpose of life? And to understand clearly the purpose of life, very important to know who you are. If you are mistaken about who you are, how will you be able to relate to the purpose of life? If I think I am the body or I am the bodies, then my purpose of life will be related to my bodies and not to who I really am, which is the soul. That's why it's very important to regularly do the soul affirmation. I cannot emphasize it enough. And I have seen, the transformative effect it has. आपको आपके नजरिए को बदल देती है, आपकी जिंदगी को बदल देती है. Especially when you are going through difficult times, especially when you are facing a temptation, to do something unethical, to do something against the virtues. Sometimes, it is very easy to get an advantage by lying, by doing, some by betraying somebody's trust, etc. So उस समय पे अगर सोल अफर्मेशन करते रहेंगे, it will be less likely that you will succumb to that temptation. All right. Also, as we saw, if you remember last time when we went through the soul affirmation, we also saw that our inner peace increases. So jab, when your inner state is disturbed, when there is a lack of inner peace, so if you keep doing this soul affirmation regularly, you will have greater inner peace. That is my point. All right, now let's come to the the main or the principal teaching of the book. You remember first session we talked about it. Master originally was going to call it his spiritual thesis or his spiritual findings. So that is what we are now coming to. This chapter 4, he has called it spiritual findings. This is the main meat or the main masala of this entire book. Okay. Now, just a little thing. I'm sure you've gone through this book earlier. This section is organized as sutras. I mean, at least I like to call them sutras. For one thing, they are numbered. Number two, there is a sequence in which you will see the wisdom of Master Choa will flow. They are also tightly packed. In few words, Master tries to convey a lot of wisdom. And that is really why we are trying to do this practice, that together we can put our minds together and try to understand, unpack the wisdom that Master has packed in this. Right? So that is why we are doing this. Now, also I would say most of the spiritual findings, it will be helpful if we don't not just do it from our logical and analytical mind. Some amount of intuitive intelligence will be very, very helpful. Now, how do we get intuitive intelligence? Not many options. Of course, as you do your spiritual practices, crown chakra will become bigger, intuitive intelligence will increase. But what we can also do is every time when we start this or before we start this, we can do the Gayatri mantra. I'm sure all of you are aware of the Gayatri mantra. Even if you are not of this faith, the Gayatri mantra is not, it is not related to any god or any, any religion. It is a very universal prayer where we request God to grant us or to increase our intelligence, especially the intuitive intelligence. So it is good to do the Gayatri mantra before we do this. Also, there is Master's CD. He, in his own voice, he reads sutra by sutra. So it is very powerful if you listen to the CD. Because of copyright reasons, I will not play it in the session, but my suggestion is after the session, spend 10 minutes on the book, play the CD on that particular part, and read the book and try to, sort of meditate on the words. Yes, the CD is available. You will have to contact your local foundation. They will be able to give you. Yeah. All right. Shall we do the Gayatri mantra at least once? Let us do. So, if you have read Master's explanation, he's explained that here we are praying to Sun God, Savitur, Sun God, and we are saying, please increase our wisdom, our mental ability, especially our intuitive ability. All right. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Vareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Yo Naha Prachodayat. Om. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Vareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Yo Naha Prachodayat. Om. Shall we do the third one mentally? All right, let's now begin with the sutras. Sutra number 1. The existence of God is self-evident. It is amazing that those who have eyes do not see. Now, this is master style. The existence of a camera factory is self-evident by the existence of the camera. The existence of God is self-evident by the existence of the eye, which is infinitely more complicated than a camera. So I don't have a camera here, but I have a phone. Now the point is, when you see the phone, it is self-evident. Self-evident means even if you don't know who designed the phone, which factory this was made in, you know that somebody has designed it, some factory has produced it. You may not know who, where, but it is self-evident. It is obvious. It does not need any evidence that some factory must have produced it. And you can see around you, I'm sure everywhere around you, whatever device you're seeing this on, maybe you have I have a fan going on, I have lights. All of these have come from some factories. So just by looking at the fan, I know that there is a factory which made this fan. There is some person who designed, who took some decisions how big the blades will be, how wide they will be, what speed it will rotate at, what winding to use, what will be the motor like, etc., etc. What will be the price, how the pricing will be done, etc., etc. So you know that there is somebody who has created it. Now, what Master says is, now think of the eye. The eye is infinitely more complicated than the best camera we can think of. I hope you agree with me. You can put AI in the camera, you can do this, that, everything. But your eye is infinitely more sophisticated, more intelligent, and more complicated. If you're not sure, just look it up. See how complicated the working of the eye is. Talk to somebody who's an eye doctor. They will tell you. So what Master is saying is that the creator, somebody who has designed and created the eye, that becomes self-evident. You now don't need any evidence. You don't need any proof of, just by looking at the eye. You know automatically that there is some super intelligent creator who we call God. Now, with these sutras, any of these sutra or every of the sutra, my suggestion is, when I read this, you also please read. Before that, you can scan your spiritual cord, you can scan your crown chakra, you can scan the spiritual energy in your aura, and then after the sutra, scan again. Would you like to do that? Just quickly scan your spiritual cord, scan your aura for spiritual energy. Okay, now just read with me. The existence of God is self-evident. The existence of God is self-evident by the existence of the eye, which is infinitely more complicated than a camera. Just be aware. Would you like to scan again and verify? Just trying to keep it simple. Just scan your spiritual cord, scan the spiritual energy in your aura, or scan your aura for spiritual energy. Yes, I hope you can see. It makes a difference. Every sutra we will study. So that is what Master has promised us in the beginning of the book. Just by reading the book, your spiritual progress will happen. All right, let's move on. Sutra number 2. The existence of a computer factory is evident by the existence of the computer. The existence of God is self-evident by the existence of the brain, which is infinitely more complex than the most advanced computer. The existence of God is self-evident by the existence of the brain, which is infinitely more complex than the most advanced computer. Just think about it. Like we said for the camera, you look at a computer, somebody has designed it, some factory has made it. Correct? So this is how we know that there must be. I don't have to go there. I don't have to see it. I don't have to read about it. I just know, yes, there is a factory. Similarly, when you think of the brain and you say, okay, somebody has put it together, somebody has designed it, and that because of the infinitely more complex working of the brain, that designer, that planner, that architect is obviously infinitely more intelligent. You see, this is what you will see, and we'll discuss it again and again. Whenever you read these sutras, it is you have to see that the design of that object is intelligent, it is purposeful, it is not random, it is not wasteful. Just think about each object as we talk about it. The existence of a water pump factory is self-evident by the existence of the water pump. Correct? So you see a water pump and you know automatically that there is a factory, it has come. The existence of God is self-evident by the existence of the heart, which is more complex and more durable. And I would actually say infinitely more complex, infinitely more durable than a metallic water pump. See, just think about it. A heart, the heart, it is pumping blood so many times at a particular frequency. It is doing that 24/7. It's only when it misses a beat that we realize, we say, oh, something wrong with my heart. Otherwise, we just take it for granted. It's just going on and on and on non-stop. It is more complex, it is more durable, and it will go on like this for the entire lifetime, maybe 75 years, maybe 85 years, maybe 100 years. It just doesn't stop. So what Master is trying to remind us is, and again, it is strange that people who have eyes don't see, or people who have intelligence do not think about these things. But now Master is pointing out, let us think about it. Think about the heart and then say, who has created the heart? Who could have designed the heart? All right. The existence of God is self-evident by the existence of the physical body and its corresponding organs, which are extremely complex. You see, and not only extremely complex, self-maintaining, self-healing. Isn't that what we learned in one of the first things we learned in basic pranic healing? The principles of pranic healing. Body knows how to heal itself. So just think, this human body, which is just, some chemicals put together, but see the intelligence. It is able to heal itself. It is able to maintain itself. It is able to take care of itself. And see the complexity, the interconnectedness between different parts of the body. If you have done the advanced pranic healing course or you've read the book, there is a chapter in at the end where Master talks about instructive healing. Now, in that chapter, he explains that there is every organ, every cell of your body has intelligence. It has consciousness. You must read it. My request is, as homework, please read the chapter on instructive healing in the advanced pranic healing book and relate to what Master is saying in this sutra. Yeah. देखिए, we are trying to do study. Now, study inevitably, and for quality study, you have to follow through with references. You have to read other material which is saying the same thing in different words or giving us different perspectives of the same knowledge. That is how our knowledge increases. Sutra number 4. A machine is produced based on the design and mathematical computations made by engineers. These mathematical computations are based on mathematical formulas. You see, this is what I was talking about a few minutes ago, that designs are, directed and purposeful, and it's not random. When the person made this fan, or when this designer made this phone, he chose, he made choices. Kitna width hoga, kitna length hoga, what will this be, what will that be, what will this be, what will the camera, where will the camera be placed, how big will be the camera hole, etc., etc., etc. All those things. So, and a lot of that requires mathematical formulas. The universe is designed and governed by certain laws of nature, which are expressed in mathematical formulas. So, for example, the law of gravity. Now, it is by knowing the formula for the law for gravity that we are able to design airplanes, we are able to design rocket ships, etc., etc. If we did not know the mathematical formula for gravity, none of that would be possible. And it is this strong belief that yes, nature has some laws, nature has some rules that have enabled the human race to develop so much in terms of science and technology. Correct? So we take it for granted, but we must now at this point tell ourselves, yes, the universe follows laws of nature which are expressed in mathematical formula. Who else but the Supreme God, who is omniscient, could do this? The word omniscient means all knowing, or maybe you can say supervise, or, infinite wisdom, infinite knowledge, infinite intelligence, something like that. You see, today I can tell you the Vesak day and time of next year. You're all aware of Vesak, right? So and every full moon between for the next 5 years, I can tell you the day and time right now. How is that possible? It is because the planetary movements are following some formulas, and we have now come to know those formulas. We meaning the human race. So we are able to say, we are able to calculate. Now just think of this infinite intelligence that has put all that together. You see, just think, in the entire universe, galaxies and universes and solar systems, planets, they are all moving around. If they were not precise, they will constantly be hitting each other. But in our entire lifetime, we know we know when the next solar ग्रहण क्या बोलते हैं सूर्य ग्रहण this eclipse, the next solar eclipse is going to happen. Now we know when it is going to happen. Why? Because the movement of the planetary bodies is based on mathematical formula, and we have come to know those formulas. Okay, let's read one more sutra. Just as the existence of mathematical formulas to compute interest payments, amortization, principal repayments, and others implies the existence of mathematicians who are intelligent, the existence of the laws of nature which are expressed in mathematical formulas which design and govern the universe implies the existence of God, the supreme mathematician who is omni-intelligent. This truth is obvious, yet many do not see this obvious truth. क्या लगता है आपको? Seems to be, is it? I hope it is making sense. So omni, this word omni, we will discuss maybe in the next session in more detail, but this word omni is very, very interesting, and very, you will see it come again and again. Omni means infinitely, or like God, it's a God-like quality. Whenever you see the word omni, it is referring to God. So shall we read the last line once more, and please read it with me. Maybe close your eyes, just follow with me. The existence of the laws of nature, which are expressed in mathematical formulas, which design and govern the universe, implies the existence of God, the supreme mathematician, who is omni-intelligent. This truth is obvious, yet many do not see this obvious truth. Just relax, be still, be aware.